So I finally got to watch the Janet documentary, the 4 parts,
Oh yeah,
and
me too.
and I wanted to get your own opinion about it. But I would say that when I started watching it, the very first episode, and she goes back to Gary, Indiana, and she sees the mural of of her five brothers. I just thought, wow, is it going to be a tearjerker? That was really an emotional thing because the way she
Hmm.
got emotional, the way she looked at them, and and we've been celebrating Michael for a while, and it was very emotional. Just that's the way it's good
Hmm.
making, just that smart. And then having
That was the
Randy,
intention.
who is her manager,
Hmm.
and I didn't realize the ages that she's the baby, then he followed by him, then it's Michael. So they were the closest, but the two-bedroom apartment with I don't know how many kids, three boys, three boys, no, a girl, three boys, a girl, three boys, and a girl. So there were 10 of them, or 11 of them, I can't remember now. And they
Mm,
shared the way they
that
shared a
was interesting.
two-bedroom stuff. So the
Hmm.
girls slept in the living room, the boys all stayed on bunk bed. I said, wow, you know, um, but yeah, so it was good seeing those. What was your thoughts? I mean, watching it and
Well, I
what
think
did you
that was a conscious effort. You can tell that there was a lot of thought and strategy put into the documentary. There was
yeah.
an effort to make them human, to humanize them and make them seem like normal people, everyday people, because these are the Jacksons. Like, I mean, we don't look at them as, I mean, most people don't. They just think these are mega star superstars and they're
Mm.
probably being waited on hand and foot by staff and da 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 da. So it's an effort to make them humanized. I think it was an effort to definitely play upon emotions and trying to get you to, cry. It was a lot of those moments in there, but I liked it. It was cute. It was entertaining. I find it's pretty much what I thought it would be. My biggest question was, where's the tea? Where's the beef, as they used to say? Like, where is the meat? I need some. I didn't learn anything new. I didn't learn anything new from that documentary. The best thing about it, I will give it because I want to be positive because
Yeah.
people think I'm always negative. Um, I enjoyed singing the behind the scenes
Of the
video
recording.
footage,
But
which also looks fake and staged and reality show quality. But I mean, it. I don't know how they could do that because a lot of it was older, but
yeah, I
it was
mean,
a little
when she
strange
was
that they had those
recording,
moments.
no, the one that when she was recording with Jimmy and Tennant, and they had the argument, and he says, "I need you to sing," and she walked out, and then she even told they even told Enzo, I can't remember the guy's name, to stop recording. That didn't look staged because you can't record that 30
I
years
don't
ago
know.
and
I
then
don't know.
hold
Maybe
on.
because I've watched reality TV. I don't know. It feels really reality TV to me, but it couldn't have been because it's supposedly done back then. It was
Yeah,
Renee
yeah,
kept the
Renee, yeah,
footage.
yeah, yeah.
And so I mean I'm being funny because I mean I'm sure it was actually shot then, but it's just a little reality TV ready. It doesn't it seem that argument though was good because it's good to show that because people think, oh, people just always get along in the
Yeah,
music
yeah.
studio, the people you're working with records with, and no, you don't. You have arguments. You think you're giving them what they want, and they don't they don't think you giving them what they want. So it's a lot of arguments, but it was a nice documentary. I'm glad she got an opportunity to tell her story the way she wanted to tell it. um, it was one of the highest rated documentaries for Lifetime and A&E,
Mm.
so that was a great accomplishment. Clearly there's interest in Janet, so she's shown that for future projects that people will want to tune in for her.
Well, yeah.
um, yeah, but I will say this: I don't feel like I didn't learn anything new. I might as well have been reading People magazine. Let's go through some of these things. Well, let me. What are you going to say? I feel like you got something to say.
So so some of the critics said, look, there was a little bit. It almost felt like a Jackson documentary because we it was a lot of Michael, um,
Hmm.
and
That was another smart move.
and but then okay, if I looked at some of the good things that I got from it, it was showing um her transition into the from her dad managing her career and the two flop
Yes.
albums, and then making the decision to go with Jimmy and Terry, um, and and that change, just seeing the difference with the album, I actually got a different appreciation for Rhythm Nation because I actually never liked it at first. But then just understanding how she took that bold, the bold steps to talk about social stuff, how she was inspired by seeing Michael at the Bad concert, and
that
then
was
thinking
interesting.
that wow, look at how he's grown, and but then also everyone's saying, "Oh, we love your brother." It's like, but I'm selling millions of records, and you're still talking about my
Yeah,
brother and stuff. The
she wanted to get that in there.
the whole marriage with James, that
Yeah.
that was interesting. But I did, but it's hard because Bobby had the bio, and it almost felt like, why didn't they? And he was very open about his affection for her, and that just seemed to, like, I was just brush that off. Let's not even talk Bobby at all. There was no.
She ain't gonna give no shine to Bobby. She don't want to have no alignment with Bobby. That probably was a quickie. It probably wasn't serious. And she don't want to acknowledge it, like how certain,
But she
you know
was still
how women
she
like
was
to
still
forget,
married to him, though.
catch
That's the thing.
amnesia. No, I'm just playing.
She was,
You know how women like to catch amnesia. No, I'm joking.
but she
But
was still married to Bobby when that happened. So it was almost like, okay, so I was conflicted with that little part.
No, I wasn't. That's why it's smart that she did what she did, because what she did is she brought in that family, the Jackson family element, because that took a little bit, that filled up space, and it took off the attention necessarily off of her, and it got a chance to play those heartstrings of sympathy and things like that. I mean, I love Janet. I know I'm kind of putting her under the microscope here, but my whole thing is, you want to tell your story, let's get into it. So first and foremost, the main thing people want to know, which I don't expect her to even tell the truth about, but the main thing people want to know is, did she have a baby by James DeBarge? Like, that's one of the long-standing rumors that have followed her throughout her career. Now, on this channel, we normally don't go into rumors and salacious stuff, but just for the sake of this particular documentary, she made a point to address it. And my thing is this: that is, when someone asks you, have you had a baby by someone, that's a yes or no answer. That's a yes or no answer. And if you pay attention to how she answers that question, it's very strange, because if you actually watch the documentary, she doesn't deny it. The only thing she says, and go back and watch that documentary, she says, yeah, a lot of people, there were a lot of crazy rumors going on that were just crazy. And then she says, they flashed to her sister, and her sister says some of the same thing, Reby.
Yeah.
And then they flashed to Debbie Allen, and and then Janet talks about how she gained some weight because of some of the birth control pills thing. And then she finally says, I would never do that to James. I would never hide a baby from him. Is that a no? It's all semantics. Like, okay, he may be aware of the baby. Everybody might be aware of the baby, just the public isn't aware. Just like we weren't aware of her marriage to Renee. Renee was a secret until she revealed it. After, I think, during the Velvet Rope album. So there's a lot of secrets there. But I'm not saying she did have the baby or don't, but I just think it's very strange. If someone asks me a yes or no question, I should be able to give a yes or no answer. And she didn't do that.
Well, I'm sure eventually Janet will come.
But it's her business, and she wants to talk about it
onto our channel. I mean, I'm not going to.
I know.
I'm not going to say that. She didn't.
It's not my business. Honestly, I don't care, but I know the audience does.
It's quite easy to say I didn't have James's baby, but it doesn't mean I didn't have a baby. A Bobby baby.
A Bobby baby. But let's not go there. Let's not start no rumors. Let's not start no rumors. No. It was just a peculiar way. It was a weird way to answer that, and it's, like I said, it's all about semantics, and that's going to play a part later in the interview or in the documentary when she talks about the Nipplegate situation, the wardrobe malfunction.
Yeah, because she didn't.
It was a little strange.
She didn't say. That was so strange. What's strange is, like, did you plan it, or was it an accident, or was it supposed to happen?
She never addresses that.
And Justin says, "Oh, let me apologize." I said, "No, don't. I'll take the heat on myself." Which, but because he came to the awards, he was still celebrated, and she was ostracized. But it's almost, it, yeah, because do I think that it was planned? I probably think it could have been. I probably think that he was told what to do, because he wouldn't just
I'm
rip
gonna
it up.
have you naked by the end of this song, and then rip. What
Yeah,
does
and
that? I
so
mean, I'm gonna have you naked by the end of this song. Boom.
yeah, and then she just does,
I
oh,
mean,
and so it seemed as if that was rehearsed. They weren't expecting the reaction and the backlash, and they thought, wow, because she had no, she had a stud there to almost like, okay, just so you don't. It's almost as if come prepared. So this is under there. Now, strange enough, if it happened now, nobody will even blink an eye.
nobody would care. I mean, people are dying for that kind of attention now.
I mean,
And you know, Super Bowl wouldn't cancel nobody. But
no. But if it happened now, no one, because it's almost like that's what you're complaining about. Based on what's happening now. I mean, you've seen half the
right.
videos, so it's so I think in a way, she didn't admit anything. She's got into the Rock and
She
Roll
didn't.
Hall of Fame,
Well,
so
let me
there was
say this. I want to add this little detail that I don't think the majority of the audience even knows. So, yes, it seems like Janet is coming to Justin's defense. Now she claims that she told him at the time of the scandal, oh, no, just remain silent. I'll take the brunt of the, backlash because it was, for whatever reasons.
yeah.
It's already on her. So, but what people don't know, Janet and Justin have the same PR rep. So I wouldn't be surprised if this is a attempt to squash that, because it benefits both of them PR wise. They're both working for the same, or they both have hired the same PR rep, so they essentially are managed by the same people. So that may be, the whole thing with Justin has been kind of like building momentum over the years. People kind of forgot it around the time, but now people are starting to resent Justin about it. So I wouldn't be surprised if their people were, like, let's just squash this, because if you squash this, we'll give you other opportunities. We'll look for you to other opportunities. Because I don't necessarily believe that she was happy that she was the only one taking the brunt of that backlash, and Justin went on to have a great, phenomenal career. I just don't believe that and buy that, especially knowing how image conscious the Jacksons have been, and how they can't afford negative publicity, and she's lost millions and millions of dollars because of that. I mean, All For You was a successful album, and clearly her career was kind of on a, I won't say a downward slope, but she still could have sold records. I think after that happened, it really kind of hit her career hard, and she couldn't recover from it. So I don't know. It's just the way. And then she also doesn't say whether it was it was in the choreographed routine for
Mm.
that to happen. She never addresses it. Only thing she says is it was a mistake. It was a mistake.
Yeah.
Now that could mean anything. That's very
We
vague. It could
shouldn't
mean
have
it was
done
a
it.
mistake.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have did it. We shouldn't have put it in the show.
Yeah.
You know, I would like to believe, and I would hope to believe. I hope I'm wrong, because I'm a Janet. I like Janet. I like Janet a lot, and I
Mm.
would like to believe that maybe there was an intention for something to be under that piece, and maybe it was like a burlesque thing where they had like something on the nipple. I don't know, but I just feel like just address it. I mean, it's been years. It's been 20 years or however long it's been. Just address it and let it go, because people already assume what they assume. If you come from an honest angle, I think we can give it, we can kind of forgive you. But as long as this whole thing of going on of, oh, this, I actually told Justin to take the brunt, just to be quiet and remain silent, and I was gonna take the brunt. I think that made her look worse. I think she shouldn't have said
Yeah.
that.
I mean, Jonathan, today brought it up. I even forgot about the whole thing. So they've opened it up, but it could have been something that, look, it was routine that we did, and at the time it
Yeah.
seemed to have flown, but when it was came down to it, it didn't go off according to how we thought it would be, and it was a big mistake, and it was a learning experience, because at this point in time there's no need for it, because everyone has moved on. They've seen far worse now, but I think they sort of it just almost as if, well, everyone was saying, Jermaine Dupri said, oh yeah, I was halfway through and heard everything was going on. I didn't get to see what's going on. And then that lead dancer said, oh yeah, we all left. So almost as if, oh, I didn't see anything. We don't know what happened. But then
All right.
what was supposed to happen? Oh, we don't need to say anything. Because I'm thinking, but what was the point of bringing it up if you were going to say, well, it was supposed to go this way and it didn't
Right.
actually
That
go
was a
this way?
perfect time to
You,
clear it
yeah,
up.
you could
The
have even
routine was
said,
supposed to
look,
go this way.
he was supposed to sort of rip off and then there was something that was covering, but unfortunately that also came off and it was a mistake. Then we'd have said, oh, okay, that makes sense. So, but anyway, I mean, not to,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it just, and it didn't seem to, I don't know how you know, it was okay to hear about the Jermaine Dupri stuff, because most of us
Yeah.
was thinking, well, why is she with him? I understand that there was an early part of the relationship, but I don't know if it finished. It just felt like, okay, it's time to end. I can't even remember how it ended now. Um,
Well, I know that with Janet, I think with Jermaine, he probably was more of a fan of her and in awe of her, and that's why she liked him. And I could tell that it feels like she's still kind of like him. I think within that dynamic, she's the prize and all that stuff like that. When we actually go back in the documentary, what I find interesting and what a lot of people didn't realize is Renee was very instrumental in a lot of her
yeah.
Janet era and just making decisions. Even in the Rhythm Nation era, he was
Mm,
very instrumental in making decisions. And you know how artists, people just assume, oh, Janet, she decided to do this and she made this happen and she did.
mm.
No, there's people behind the scenes making those decisions and coming up with ideas and why don't you do this? And he came up with the iconic that cover that no one can remember. That I mean, no one can remember. No one can forget.
Yeah.
From Rolling Stone, I
Rolling
believe it
Stone.
was,
Yeah, the album
and like the
cover.
visuals of Again, those are things that are like iconic in our minds when we think about that era, and he was responsible for it.
Yeah.
And so it was interesting to get that side of it, and it was great that he actually documented that time because that was the best thing that he could have did. Like,
Yeah, and
wow, I
they
mean,
must have made up the fact that he was released the films and stuff, and I think one of the things
yeah.
I saw with those things that she was actually happy. 9 years married, and they were probably together for maybe 2 or 3 before that. So she felt
Hmm.
like she was in a place. I could then understand where she said he got into addiction and
Oh,
painkillers,
yeah.
and it affected, and then he became controlling and that affected her sort of so mental self-esteem and anything like that. um but
But lastly,
mhm.
I wanted to talk about Michael because I'm glad I saw Michael in there. I was screaming and like, yeah, Michael, because it showed a human side of Michael and what he was going through during that period, during
Oh,
those
is it when he was
allegations. And
writing?
I was like, oh my God, it's something about that clip. That was all I needed to see. Like, I was just feeling so bad for him being under that. And the way he said his lyrics is like, your lies are disgusting. And it was the way he said it, was like, yeah, he really wanted to get that out. He wanted to say that to them, to the people. That was his only way in his mind to speak for himself, was through his music. So it was good to see him in a vulnerable place, but also just in a regular, brother sister moment on her bed or his bed, whoever's bed that
Yeah,
was, writing
yeah,
a song together.
yeah.
I don't know, it
No,
was just kind of cool.
yeah, I think watching him there, and then also replaying the parts of his death sort of got me thinking that, man, he was not just, he's gone too soon, but it just reignited that sense of, this was deliberate, on
Awesome.
his life.
Awesome.
That there was a bigger motive of that. So it was, I just felt really,
Yeah.
just seeing him, I just felt, wow, this is, they try to
That
cancel
was a
him.
very mysterious death, and
Yeah,
we'll just leave it at that. I
yeah,
really don't. I think he has so much life to live. I would have been
yeah.
okay with him retiring. I didn't need to see him, perform again. Just knowing that he was alive and healthy and still
Mm,
able to see things turn around for
mm,
himself,
yeah,
and get his flowers,
yeah,
in the
yeah,
right way.
yeah.
So. All right. Well,
Anyway.
let us know your thoughts. I know Janet's fans are going to come for me in this one, but I had to be honest, guys. I love Janet and I enjoyed the documentary, But I'm not going to make any excuses. I said what I said. But no, I do. I did enjoy the documentary, but I didn't really learn anything new. But anyway, what did you think? Did you enjoy the documentary? Did you love seeing the old photos and the old video of the Jacksons and Janet? What do you think about her marriages? Because she's 3 times divorced. Or no, is she? She
An
wasn't
old
married
one.
to
She was
Jermaine,
married.
right?
She was married twice and no 3 serious relationships.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you think about that? Who do you think was the best pick for her as a husband? I think maybe Jermaine. I don't know.
Jermaine said that because he was a Janet, more women wanted him, and so he couldn't help himself.
I know, that's the only thing about getting with somebody insecure. Like, I hate to say it, like, that's the give and take of that. Like, he's in awe of you, but now you giving him a different look.
Yeah, so everyone
But
wanted him because he was a
yeah, I mean, yeah. So, so anyway, well, let us know what you think. Like, share, and subscribe. We'll see you next time on the next episode.
All right. Thanks again for watching, guys.
And before we go, don't forget to hit that like, share, and subscribe button.
Yeah, and also remember to turn on the notification so you can know when we have another show. But thanks again.
That too.